All right. Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday morning. We're doing another freestyle game dev live stream. As usual, we're here 2 times a week. We try to do these Sunday nights and Wednesday mornings, trying to cover our time zones. My name's Kevin. I work professionally in games. I work in R&D at Riot Games right now, and I get to do a lot of really cool stuff at work, but there's a lot of cool stuff I don't get to do at work. So this is a chance for me to kind of stumble through all that stuff, but mostly I hang out here, and if people have questions about game dev or they're troubleshooting something in Unreal, maybe we can stumble through it together. We've helped out a couple of people. It's been a lot of fun. And in the absence of any questions, we basically just work on a game that I'm making. And primarily right now we're focused on AI stuff. Basically where we are is kind of a little bit of where we left off. We're currently working on getting the enemies to fight against each other. That seems to be working, and hopefully we can continue to make progress on that. I truly do mean we're stumbling through this together. My primary area of expertise is largely about character front end and kind of like blueprints for front ends and managers and stuff like that. Not so much AI and programming and all the stuff that we're doing right now. But that's cool. It's a lot of fun to learn it. I went through all of the live streams from before. I think we got all of the questions answered so far. Some of them are even in Spanish, which is definitely challenging my Spanish, but that's cool too. So because we don't have any questions and it looks like we're pretty much ready to go, we're just gonna hop straight back into Unreal and keep cranking. So let's just do a swap over to Unreal. Make sure we're good to go there. Double check our levels. Seems like we're all good. Maybe turn down the music just a little bit. Okay. And bring up our chat so we can make sure that we're covered there. So where we left off, and actually I have not had any time to make any progress since we left off. We were basically playing red versus blue, and our enemies are spawning, and there's a lot going on now. They are basically fighting against the other team. They're picking their targets based on the EQS system we set up. They're picking their weapons, their abilities, all those kinds of things. Now there's a couple things that are happening that I think we should probably work on fixing. So a couple things are when an enemy dies, you'll notice that the character keeps shooting that enemy because the enemy's not actually dead yet. It's still valid. So I think what we want to do is we want to do better about figuring out is dying. And also you'll notice that our enemies are still shooting the center of the capsule. So it'd be nice if when they were shooting and targeting an enemy, they were shooting more towards the chest. That would be a good one. But I actually think it will be even better for us to set up a target dummy. I think there's a couple things, because we've done so much work in the AI and the enemies are doing all of this stuff, there's potential that we broke in some other stuff. So I was thinking it might be cool to have a target dummy so that we could set up specific test cases. We could see what happens if we have an enemy that's not fighting back, it's not moving, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm thinking we'll do that this morning and get that going. Also, I want to clean up a bunch of stuff. We have a bunch of this leftover printing that's going on. We have all of these errors that are popping up. These errors are happening because there are no players in this mode. And so even though this isn't a mode, because we're simulating, I still don't want these errors hanging around. So we're gonna hop in and fix a bunch of these things. And set up a target dummy. So let's see here. This set actor item location in the plasma blueprint is looking for get actor location target actor. Okay, so here's the problem. The target actor is self That's the plasma item. That's fine. Set actor location equal to get player character. And we don't actually have a player character. You know, there's a couple things about this that actually now, so there's an easy fix to this. We can just check to see if our player character is valid, and that will fix this. However, that's not actually going to fix the overall gameplay aspect of this. So I'm going to put this in here for a second just to clean up the errors. That's not what I want. We'll drag off here and we'll do an is valid check. So if this is true, we're going to do a thing. And if it's false, I think what we can do is I think we can do finish. I think that will be fine. So now what I was going to say was, right now these are our plasma items, right? The idea is you kill an enemy and much like, you know, you get gold or plasma, whatever it is, the overall paradigm that we're collecting something. The problem is a lot of when we were initially setting up our prototype, a bunch of this stuff depended on player character 0. There's a bunch of problems with this. Now we no longer have just player characters killing enemies. Enemies are killing different enemies on different teams, which is an interesting new development in our development. So we actually probably want enemies to be able to collect plasma too. And also, we're not going to have just one player character. We're going to have multiple. So there's going to be a lot of future cleanup for us for this. We're not going to worry about that right now. We're just going to double check to see if that fixes our blueprint. The other thing that I want to take a look at is I want to take a look at those print statements, which I believe were coming from set target info. Is that where it was? Yeah, there's some print strings in here. So we can kill these, clean this way up. Anything that's not connected. Interesting. Oh, that's just to print it. That's fine. So what are we doing with this in here? We're checking for enemies. We're doing our site. Okay, so that's cool. So that's going to clean up that. Now let's just do a quick test to make sure we got both those things. So we'll start seeing the errors in this as the enemies die and the plasma spawns. So there the plasma spawned. And that was a little bit of what I was worried about. The plasma's not actually finishing. So what is this saying? Get player controller node, add plasma. The heck is that? I don't even see add plasma. I think this is finished. What does finished collect item do? Destroy the actor. Oh, it adds plasma. All right, this is why. What we want to do is valid on this. Come on, go back. That's not what I wanted. Where was that? Oh no, I lost it. Here we go. Is valid. Is valid. So as long as that's valid, we'll add that. Cool. And then go back to our simulation just to make sure we clean this all up. Everybody's running around. I'm going to keep the targeting lines on and some of these other things for a little while. Okay, so the plasma is cleaning itself up, even though it just kind of sits there. I think it'll be cool to make this actually go to the actor that, you know, got the kill. So if we get time today, I think that'll be a cool thing for us to check out. So we got most of that all cleaned up. We do still have a couple errors. Find cover. There must be something. Ah, here it is. Get player character. Everywhere we have this get player character stuff, it's going to be tricky. Because what is the whole point of this? This is find cover. And so it used to be that it was all relative to the player character. Okay, I'm not going to fix that right now. What I'm going to do is we're going to set up a dummy, a target dummy. So what I've done is I've created a child blueprint of the enemy. I'm going to call this target dummy. And we're going to make a couple changes to this guy. So in here, there's a couple things that I don't want to happen. So in our enemy, and this is where the whole parent function inheritance comes in. When we do begin play in the enemy, we also have the parent begin play, which calls all of the ALS stuff and then show hide health bar and all these kinds of things. All right. We actually want to make this a special case, which is why some of these things are so powerful. So in begin play, we're not going to call the parent blueprint. I just deleted that out. I'm also not going to call the parent tick either. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do specific stuff for these characters. I'm going to set the visibility on these, make sure they're hidden. So we'll hide both of our, basically all of our status. So that's going to hide those. And we're going to change our mesh. Let's actually make it none. Let's just clear it. We're not going to have a mesh. And we don't, this sphere is, what we're going to do with the sphere is we're going to disable all collisions on this, because we don't want anything to do with this. Now we could also get this by just creating a whole new blueprint. There's a reason why I'm choosing to inherit off an enemy. And the reason is, if you recall, a lot of our environment query system stuff is looking for the enemies. And so in order to not have to redo all of that work, the fastest way for me to get a target dummy online is to do this. So we're disabling collision, we're doing all these kinds of things. And then let's just add some stuff. So we're gonna add a static mesh. And in our viewport, the static mesh we're going to use is, let's use a barrel. I saw a barrel in here. Yep, we got a complex barrel. Okay. And we're gonna make our target dummy out of barrels. So let's see here. Where's the ground? Well, that's interesting. And then let's add a... Do I not have a cylinder? Cylinder? We do have a cylinder. Ooh, goody. Okay, we're basically doing some quick modeling here. We're just going to stick this barrel up on a pole. Okay, and then we're going to give this dude some arms. Well, let's see what this looks like on a map real quick. Browse to this asset. Oh, he's big. He's super big. All right, and we also want him to start at the base of the collision capsule. So let's go back and fix that. So this thing is going to be down at the base, the barrel. Oh, it looks like the cylinder is parented. Okay. So that's that. And then let's add a cube. And let's make this the base platform. Just so we know where the bottom is. You know, make it nice. Make it nice. Compile that. What it looks like in our single room. I think this might be kind of big. Okay, also you'll notice this is exactly what's going to be interesting. Did you see it turn? Yeah, it's turning. It's doing things. It's not supposed to do that. I think it's a little big. Let's make it a little smaller. It also dies. Did you see that? It died. Okay. So there's a couple more things we need to clean up. Let's scale this. Nope. Scale this down a little bit. Undo. Alright, there's our base platform. Still parented. Okay, that might be a little better. Alright, let's see what that looks like relative to our characters now. Ooh, it's a lead barrel. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Should we give it some arms? Nah, let's not overdo this. Okay, so we now have a barrel. I am going to not make it white. Let's just find some. Maybe we got a nice, yellow in here. Oh, we got all these default materials. I don't see any yellows. You know, let's just put our enemy material on here, because if we do that, we might get for free a bunch of our stuff like hit flashes. So let's browse this, Let's just take this and duplicate it, and we're gonna call this target dummy. And let's go into our material instance for target dummy, and let's change our body color to be yellow. Okay. And then let's assign that to our barrel. Now this is not going to look correct because none of the UVs for this barrel are laid out properly, but that's okay. We're just using this as a you know, placeholder type thing. And then for our cube and our cylinder, let's just put something not white on them. Let's try. Yeah, we'll do that. How's that? Interesting. Okay. So we have target dummy. And the fun part is the target dummy turns and moves and stuff. So obviously we probably want to change that. It also, I'm curious what team the target dummy is on. So let's do a double check. It looks like he's on team he, she, it is on team oh, target dummy's dead. Let's escape. Okay, so there's a couple things we need to do with target dummy. First off, we want, this is target dummy. Let's change a couple things. First off, what's happening is when target dummy spawns, target dummy is getting AI. So let's set and make sure that we don't have an anim blueprint. So we don't have an anim blueprint now, so that's good. And then we want to make sure our class defaults, is there a, there's an enemy AI in here. Here it is, AI controller class. So let's clear that. So it's not gonna do that. It's interesting, we could do that when we're placed in the world. We won't do that, we're gonna disable the auto possess as well. So now he shouldn't move, which is cool. We can double check that. Okay, he's not moving, which is cool. The interesting thing though is, what team is he on? And if, actually there's a bunch of interesting things here. Let's only spawn one set of enemies, okay? And then let's see if we can figure out what team our barrel is on. I believe that the team is going to be set. Hold on. Our team is actually set. Begin play. It's actually set by our enemy spawners in this case. And if we had team ID, cast the enemy AI, team ID. Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem. Our team IDs are generally looking at the enemy AI. Okay, there's another plan. There's another thing we can do. It's worth thinking about whether or not we want our team IDs on the actual AI versus the pawn. And I can see arguments for both ways. But one thing is if a different AI takes over the pawn, does the team change? Right? So I could see having the team ID on the actual character that's in the game. On the flip side, I could see it more as like the AI is the consciousness of the character, and whoever the AI possessed, that's the team. They were on, same thing, like if I was in somebody else's body, I'd still be me, still be on my team. So I can see arguments both ways. But because of that, what I think we do for now, can we create duplicates? Can we create duplicates of this? Can we create a child blueprint? We can. Oh, that's interesting. Do we need to? Let me see if we do this. Let's just create a child blueprint and let's call this target dummy AI child. And I want to look at what's in here when we do that. Event graph. Ooh. Okay. Does this, wait. Enemy AI. I don't see team ID. I should see. Oh, there it is. Team ID is there. Okay, cool. So that's there. What does begin play do? Random integers, inventory items, slotted items, horizontal weapons, weapon attaches. So for target dummy, we don't need to do this. So we can basically once again override our begin play for the target dummy. So in this case, we're not going to do this. And then in the tick, we're not even doing anything for the tick, so we don't even have to worry about that. Okay, and we're going to go back to, let's compile and save this. Let's go back to our target dummy, and we're going to actually bring back the AI stuff, but we're going to auto possess on placed in world, and we're going to use the target dummy AI. Okay, now when we do that, what I want to make sure is we get the slotted items, we do weapon attach, instruction, event on possess. Okay, so here we're gonna do the thing, we create a run behavior tree. We don't want to do this. Okay, so we need to override our on possess as well for our target dummy, and function on possess. Let's just do a print string to make sure this is all right. What I want to see is oh, this is going to be interesting. So here's our target dummy. We got 3 blues. So that makes me wonder if our target dummy what team our target dummy is on. Also, did we see the hello print? Let's try that again. We did. So hello printed, our target dummy is not moving. So let's set our team ID on 3 on that guy and just make sure that it's actually working. Team ID, set team ID. We're going to set it to 100. Now, when we do that, they are now targeting the target dummy, and there are 4 blues. Okay, so what was happening was, as it was spawning, it was, what? How'd that dude die? And our target dummy dies too, and never comes back. Okay. So a couple things. I don't know. I don't think we want our target dummy to die at all. So let's see if we can figure out how that's happening. Okay, so somewhere in our enemy, I believe on damage is not being used anymore. So we can delete that to clean that up. Any damage also does not seem to be being used anymore. Health change. Set float, do once on death. Interesting. I believe the health change is actually being show damage amount, update the health bar. I want to see what happens actually if we're doing this as the player. So let's do a couple things. Let's get rid of our blues as well. Simplify this test case a little bit. All right. It definitely has health. And it does die. Okay, so I I think what we do want the health bar. I think the health bar is cool because it helps us know when we're targeting target dummies how much damage we're doing. So if we're testing weapons, we want to know how strong they are and stuff. I could see us wanting to see the health bar. Okay. Event, reset, unpossess, destroyed, any damage. Interesting. End play. Where are we right now? We're in the target dummy AI. But in our target dummy, what we want is event on death. Because on death, I believe is where we death event on death, show hide health bar, increments the score, removes a ragdoll, all these kinds of things, detaches and then destroys. So I don't want to destroy the actor. So is it just as simple as event on death, print string, dead? I'm wondering if we can re-add health. That'll be interesting. Okay. Boom. It's dead. See how long it sticks around for. It sticks around. Great. Okay. What would be cool is if we could reset our health. So this is cool because it's doing what we want in the sense that it's not dying. It's still here. But I think what we want to do is we want to, all we need to do is reset the health. So how do we do that? This is on health changed, but that's not actually doing anything. So there's a way to look at this. If we look at our projectiles, they are definitely damaging our enemies. And so this projectile is not being used. Good to know. So let's look at our bullets because I know they are. So if we look at this bullet, this inherits from projectile base. Projectile base spawn emitter at a location. Gets the instigator. Sends the gameplay event, begin overlap, apply external effects. Oh, I think our damage is being applied in code. Because we're getting the hit, we're setting the hit direction. We're casting to the player. We're sending the gameplay event. And the gameplay event we're sending is what? Target, instigator, payload. That's where we spawn the emitter. This is where we're setting our gameplay effect. Let's find where this thing is. Oh, it's not, it's only being used. Oh, interesting. It's actually not even being used right now. Okay, there's another way to look at this. There's a heal. We have a heal BP. This is our gameplay effect heal base. And here's our heal AoE BP. This thing, when we overlap, we're gonna get the hit actors, we're gonna add them, we're gonna apply gameplay effect to self. Ability, interesting. That is not what I would expect. Oh, that's why. Because what it's doing is the gameplay effect is applying to itself, and then it's picking up who its target is as part of the payload. The payload target is the actor that we overlapped. Interesting. Well, I think we could technically do this. So in our target dummy on death, can we apply gameplay effect to self? And what we want is we want heal. Interesting. There's a heal base there. Let's see what happens. Nope. Not. Don't know that we needed payload. Effect context, that's payload. Oh, send gameplay effect to actor. So we need one more thing. So let's send gameplay effect. Gameplay event to actor. Get self. And interesting. Tag. Event. What is the tag that's on this other one? Event shared AoE. I don't want that though, because I mean, look, we'll do it to test it, but I don't ultimately want that because that is going to heal anybody around, which is not what we want. Let's just see. Okay. The payload is going to be the other actor. We can copy this. We're going to make the payload target. Let's give that a shot. I just want to heal my dummy. How do I know if that's even working? It doesn't seem to be working at all. Send gameplay event to actor. Self. Effect health. Set health. Can I just do this? Set health to 100. And let's go 1,000. But if I do that, I don't know that that's actually working. So weird, the hotkeys at home were different than the hotkeys at work. Let's see here. Okay, so currently, anytime we wanted to change our health, we have had to use things like this, right? Gameplay stuff. So let's just try to do this the right way. All right, let's get the ability system component. Let's send send gameplay event actor and self and the event that we want to send is what is heal base? This is a gameplay effect. Can we just apply gameplay effect? Gameplay effect. Add link gameplay. Apply gameplay effect to self. Oh. Heal base. Effect context. Interesting. And what does heal base do? Heal base will heal to damage. Should be negative damage though. -1. -1 times the attack damage? Is that what I'm understanding here? So this guy, here's the AoE heal. And the AoE heal doesn't have a projectile. Ability triggers. That's fine. Effect container map. Target gameplay effect classes. Sphere trace. Okay. Heal the character. And the modifiers. Preview at 1/100. Interesting. Heal base. -1/100. Interesting. Target dummy. Applied. Let's see if we've applied this. Okay. Okay, it says it applied it. Now either our health bar is not updated or our health isn't actually. Ooh, look at that. Let's play again. This is all the AI stuff. The interesting thing is, if that was applying, I would actually expect to see, let's just do this, on tick. Hold on. What I need to do is let's do this. On begin play. Let's do timer. Set timer by function name. Nope, that's not what I want. Event timer. The timer by event. Okay. Let's make a new event called add. All right, what I'm thinking here. I know I'm kind of off in the weeds a little bit. Add health. Trying to figure out how to debug the fact that our stuff is not actually adding health, and I'm not sure if it's because our character's dying, or if it's because our gameplay ability system's not working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this event that adds health to our target dummy, theoretically, every 2 seconds. And it's going to come in here, all right, because on tick was too much. So there we go. We're seeing the applied print. 2 1000, 1 1000, 2. Okay, so our character's not dead, but clearly the gameplay effect is not being added because the health should be going back up. Because we're not in a state where it's dead. It's saying it's applying it, but it hasn't actually applied it. So let's see what it is about this that's not working. Apply gameplay effect to self. Level 1. Maybe it's because it was level 0. Interesting. That is not doing it either. So GE AoE heal character. GE AoE heal character is literally just this. GE AoE heal character. Sure, why not? Let's see if it's just because heal base is the wrong way. Wait. Oh, it's working. 1, 2. Every 2 seconds it adds 100 back. Alright, that's working. Let's go all the way down to nothing. Interesting. So there's something about heal base that doesn't do what we want. Let's take a look at this AoE heal character. And let's compare this to heal base. Well, that seems wrong. So this inherits from heal base. You'll notice our modifiers is attribute set health. And in here, is HWZ damage execution. This is instant. Modifiers index 0. This is executions. Instant. Modifier index 0. Damage execution. Modifiers and executions. Duration modifier. Execution. Oh, interesting. So heal base should be set up as a modifier, not an execution. And I think we're setting the health and adding scalable float. Okay, so here we go. Scalable float 1. I don't think we want these executions in heal base. We may have just broken the whole system, by the way, but we'll sort that out in a minute. Attack damage. Interesting that on the curve, scalable float, default attack. Okay, so this should be heal base. Set health, add, scalable float 1 times the attack damage. Okay, that's fine. I can see this being like if you're using a weapon that does heal, the heal amount shouldn't really be the attack amount, but you could use the attack damage of the weapon if it was in heal mode to add that much health back. It's pretty cool, actually. So if that's true and that's now working, I should be able to, in my target dummy, first let's confirm that it's still working. I know it is because he's healing. Now this also just brings up another thing. See how it's adding 100? I'd love those to be green instead of red. But there's no sense of overheal. And that's something just I'm realizing that we don't have. We may want to add that later. But this is still working, which is cool. So if we change this just back to plain old heal base rather than AoE heal, do we still get our health? Now that we're actually affecting this the right way. Yes, we do. Okay, so our heal base was just set up wrong. Cool. So we have a target dummy that heals itself. That's great. Okay, it doesn't move, it doesn't die. That's cool. So now we can go back. I keep pressing that. Now we can go back to what our initial intent was, which was not to tick away and add health over time, but to apply health back when it dies, totally. So now, here's the interesting thing though. When we get down to 0 health, we should get 1 back. But interestingly enough, it only dies 1 time. Oh, wow. Why is that? This is only on death. Find references. Death. Is it on death only called once? Event on death. Okay. Yeah, it's only due once. And this is because that's the event health changed. Oh my goodness. Okay. This is getting nuts. So we're going to copy this into our target dummy. And this should work because we have event. I just want to make sure we have this event on health change here. Here it is, on health changed. Okay. So we're going to change this. So we're not going to do this once. We're not going to do berserkers. That's fine. We're not going to do berserker percents. We're not going to set backlord values. We're not doing random stuff. We're not doing that. We are going to do... Oh wait, no, we went a little bit too far. So what we do want is alive. So if it's not alive, we're gonna do death. So let's see here. Okay. That seems to be working. All right, so now that that's working, let's go back to our target dummy and see if we can simply just increase. Wait, what? Doesn't, well, where's our target dummy? Event on death. I thought we were overriding on death. We are. Okay. So if we increase this to 3, does this increase our magnitude? So that when we die, we get 3 times the health back? Nope. Okay, so how do we increase the magnitude of that? That's GE heal base. Magnitude. Is there a way for us to set the magnitude here? There's a level. Oh, interesting. What we could do is attribute abilities, scalable float. Scalable float magnitude. There's a way to change this based on the level. I don't know off the top of my head what that is. So there's a super hack way we can do this, which, you know, I definitely don't like, but will work for our purposes for right now until we get into it. And what we can do is, the level doesn't make a difference. Can we make anything out of this? Make effect contact. Doesn't help me. Yes. Send gameplay event to actor. The event that we're sending here is the shared AOE. That AOE I don't know that this helps us, but this is kind of derailing a little bit from what we were doing. But we can just unfortunately do this 3 times. And this will fully heal our character. And then what we wanted, this is super ugly. We're not happy about this. But we'll just do this because this will fully heal our character. See? Every time we get down to dead, it comes back. So we basically just have this looping health bar. Now, let me be clear. We do not want to do this way. But I can sit here and kind of stumble through trying to figure out what's going on with the gameplay ability system, or we can get this working, which is cool. So now that that's working, let's go back to our simulate, but we need to bring back our reds. And then watch them hopefully beat up a barrel. Or our blues. Now some of them interesting. They're targeting the barrel. If I get too close, do they target me? This is just more of a curiosity. I don't think they will because, oh, I know why. Because they've already picked their target. But if I run in before, nope, they're still not targeting me. I don't think they know how to target me yet. We'll have to fix that. But at the very least, because we now have this set up, if we simulate, we can sit back and we can watch. I now have a way to better understand what the enemies are doing, where they're positioning themselves and stuff like that, relative to the target dummy. So this is cool, right? Like, I understand why the ranged people aren't moving. It's great. The dude who's on the inside, I like that he's actually not moving. He's now that's the thing that I want to figure out. Why did he just walk away? And I think it's because maybe he had no health. See, he just walked away. The melee dude just walked away. This is what I want to watch. This is why I wanted to create a target dummy. Because I wanted to be able to figure out, I wanted to be able to set up these scenarios where I can have a target dummy that's not moving. I can put a weapon in the scene and watch what happens and make sure they're doing what I want them to be doing so they feel smart, which is cool. Now, there's a couple things here. This target dummy doesn't really give a lot of room. I also don't know if I want this thing to affect the nav mesh like it's doing right now. So there's a couple things we're going to do here. Can the character step up on? No. Can the character step up on? No. We don't want him to be able to step up on that. And is there a way to set nav stuff here? Can ever affect navigation? I think that's what we want. Compile and save. There we go. Now it doesn't affect the nav mesh. So it's more like, well, I believe it's more like they'll walk on. Interesting. They've all chosen melee. That's kind of wild. They've all chosen melee. Whereas before, we clearly had shooters. Try that again. Go again. Oh, why would that affect? So it's 2 games in a row. We may be wanting to play some lotto tonight if I'm this lucky. Oh no. Okay, he's got a gun. Holy cow. The chances of them, all 4 of them, not choosing a weapon? That seems wild. Okay. But I think we're gonna wrap that up here. We have made a target dummy, which is cool. That's going to help us with some of the it just helps with a lot of things. I think it's going to help me with debugging some of the AI stuff, as you've already started to see. I think target dummies are a great thing to have for when one day, if we ever get to the point where we start testing weapons, and giving players a chance to beat up on something that's not moving, so they can get a sense for how their abilities and stuff work. I think that'll be cool. Obviously we cut some corners with some of the gameplay stuff in there. I need to fix like how the target dummy's health is working and everything like that. But overall, not a total disaster of a morning. And we'll just keep cranking on the AI, figuring out their weapons and things like that, and go from there. So as always, if you have questions, just go ahead and throw those down in the comments down below, or hop back into our next live game dev stream. That's going to be Sunday night, and that's at 10:15 Pacific Standard Time. So we do 2 different time zones to try to help cover different time. I'm sorry, we do 2 different time slots to try to help cover different time zones. So I hope you all have an awesome week, and I will catch you in the next one.